Today we're on Yellow Brick Cinema Talk. We are exploring the rise of social isolation and its real effects on mental health. Is being alone harmful or is it actually healing? Today we discuss the psychology behind introversion and extroversion, the benefits of solitude and the dangers of disconnection, and what balance really means in a connected world. So, first off, if you watched last week or listened to last week, we had some challenges we had to do, and we had to test out some stuff, such as feeling the grass, feeling the earth with our feet. We had to try these like a red light therapy, and so Claire, did you end up doing any of that?
No, I did not do my homework, Evan. I considered a cold shower and then came to my senses. Uh, so I'm afraid not. Tell me you tried something.
Oh, yeah, I could lie right now, but I'm gonna be honest. I did not try any of these, but I have. I think the closest thing was that cold shower. But it was just because maybe I jumped in too early. But I know I didn't try any. And it's rainy season here in Bangkok, so it's just constantly raining here. So and there's no grass around me. Like I'm in the middle of a city, so I can't really touch grass as uh, literally and figuratively. So
Yeah, I took a few walks outside barefoot, so I suppose I could claim that.
oh yeah. So
Yeah.
did you feel the Earth's power, the core?
Energy.
Yeah, yeah, the energy. Did you feel more energy because of it?
Um, no, I do not feel the energy. You'll be happy to hear.
Okay.
Um, but I suppose it's good for the soul. I was very conscious of bees. It's spring here, so we've got
Oh,
lots of bees on the grass. So that wasn't exactly relaxing,
no.
but but it was good to get outside and feel the grass, just
That's
in
a
a general sense.
yeah. Like in theory, my mind thinks that stepping on grass, like I feel like wow, it's so like I feel like a child when my feet went through the grass. It felt the little blades of grass go through your toes, and you felt great. Now I just have this like thought process when I walk through grass. I'm gonna step on acorns. I'm gonna step on pine, like just like or bugs or some, I don't know. Maybe I've been seeing bad grass lately. I don't know.
No, I think there's something there. I think we've become overly sensitized to that sort of thing in general. I think we're so used to wearing shoes and being indoors, and we our kids don't play outside like we used to. We don't go outside like we used to, and I think there's something there. We've become sensitive to that sort of thing. I mean, yeah, I've got really really soft feet. My husband spends a lot of time barefoot, and he's like hardened, so he can walk on anything. He can walk on gravel, he can walk on spiky grass, and he's fine, but not me.
Oh, I'm I envy that. I am I when I get a massage, they just massage my foot, and I start like laughing, and they look at me, and they're like my feet are too soft. I Same with my hands. My hands used to be super soft, like I did no work at all. It's kind of embarrassing. I need to like start rubbing sandpaper on my hand. But that kind of like brings us into kind of our topic of today is like social isolation. Maybe, being outside, and instead of being outside, we kind of lose that grasp of maybe feeling outside and connected with the world. I'm socially isolated. I know that you have a full family. I don't. So this is kind of like a contrast here, and to see how you feel and if you're more relaxed. For me, it I'm pretty isolated. I don't really have friends here in Thailand. I just kind of have my girlfriend, but I don't really have friends here in Thailand. And I've been here for 3 years. So as sad as that is, but that's it. So I'd be curious to hear your point of view with a family, and because you're more of I don't know if it would be called extrovert, but you still have that social life amongst your family, and I'm curious on how maybe that's relaxing and how you feel.
Yeah, so a bit more of a network, I suppose. I definitely am an introvert. I'm a serious introvert. Um, but then at times I can be what I believe is called an extroverted introvert, which, as far as I understand, is when you're comfortable and you're with people that you feel at home with, your extrovert side can come out. So that's probably how I would describe myself. So I do obviously live with family, and that is more social than your situation. But I'm not the first one to jump into social settings with confidence. I do tend to pick and choose what I do and who I hang out with, and depending on my mood, that also dictates what I'm willing to go out and do. Um, so yeah, I unfortunately I think we're dealing with two introverts on this call.
Yep.
But I think there's definitely a place for social interaction. I mean, I know you say you're in Thailand, you're a little bit more isolated. Do you miss having a group of friends, or do you find it a bit of a relief? I know that sounds strange, but there's times where I don't have tons of friends. I've always been one of those people who have a small group of closer friends, but there's times when I'm really busy or really stressed that I feel overwhelmed trying to keep up with friendships and trying to feed the friendships, just because I feel guilt when I just want to stay home and do nothing. So I'm curious if it's a bit of a relief for you. Do you feel that sort of way as well, or do you feel like you could do with more social events, I guess?
Yeah, so that's super interesting because in my 20s, I would 100% consider myself a extrovert. You know, I'd always have friends, hang out, always be with people. And now I'm on my, geez, like I'm the 3/4 of the way through my 30s, and I just have, I just feel like I have so much going on, whether it's stuff I have to do, just or just, I feel like when I spend time with people, my friend, like or friends or other people, unless it's talking about something important, I just feel like I don't want this to sound bad, but I feel like it's wasting time almost. I want to just constantly be working because I feel like I have a lot of catch up to do. So maybe it's a mental game for me, but I like having my own space. I like it's so hard. That's a tough one because I do like being isolated by myself, and I like listening to music and just my ADHD, and I can just work and focus on my stuff. But I don't typically like going out. I don't like going out anymore with friends. I don't like meeting up. I just in my mind I just feel like it's I don't know. I maybe I don't get the same experience, the thrill that I used to as when I was younger. I feel like I need to be home and working and doing something productive. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. So I save the weekends for being social with my girlfriend and going out to places, going out to the mall, going out to eat, and trying to be as social and people watch that way. But I'm curious when you want to be isolated, do you go off? I know you made this video. It's called the arbitrarium, uh, arbitrarium. Is
Oh, the atrium.
Atrium, yeah. Is that
Yeah.
something you do like to get away from all the chaos and like the family and just go out there and just relax? Is that a great way?
Yeah, I guess so. I do enjoy being outdoors when I can be, and doing creative things like that. Being around my family is relaxing to me. So for me, those are my people where I can just completely be myself and not worry about having to necessarily keep up conversation or, yeah, I mean, I can be fully relaxed. So I don't really feel the need to escape them, but there are times when I just don't want to go out. I guess similar to you, I struggle with conversation and social situations where it's superficial talk, kind of like small talk.
Hmm.
Um, and that sounds a bit holier than thou, and I don't mean it to. I just genuinely struggle when I'm having a conversation and it's not about something meaningful or that I'm super interested in or passionate about. I really struggle to just keep a surface level conversation going. Um, it's just not in my nature to be. I guess I'm not extroverted enough to keep that going for very long. Um, so I think we're similar in that way. I know yours is more related to you feel like you're wasting time and you need to get back and like get going and working towards something. But it is similar in a sense that we both seem to struggle with, yeah, social settings where you're sort of just saying hi to people and asking how their week was and how are the kids, the general
Yeah, yeah.
general questions. I just struggle with that, and it tends to drain my energy hugely. So if I go to a social event, situation, whatever you want to call it, and there's a lot of that and I'm not feeling super comfortable, my energy levels just drop and I get home feeling very much drained. Whereas if I go somewhere where it's around people I'm super comfortable with, or even if it's just my frame of mind, if I'm feeling like in a good space and I can give a bit more of an extroverted side to people, then I feel energized by the social event. But a lot of times I go to things and come back feeling very drained.
I'm I'm exactly the same way. I 100% agree. Like I can give it like an hour, a couple hours, and then after I burn out fast. But do you think it's because of maybe technology? We're so do you think technology really made that disconnect happen over time? I mean, I remember back in the day, obviously before phones. Well, I was alive when phones were still here, hopefully. But like on trains, and people used to kind of like talk to each other, and on public transportation, when nobody had anything to stare at, they would just make
Yeah.
small talk and conversations. Felt like people were much better conversation makers back. You had to force yourself almost to be an extrovert because um, you you had to talk to everyone. Now you just do even food delivery. They just drop it off at your door and you pick it up and you can go back in your dungeon, without talking to a soul. So you think technology completely kind of ruined that social aspect?
Yeah, for sure. It's so true. I think it's almost becoming a bit of a lost art, the art of conversation. It's so easy to hide behind a screen now and type what you want to say, but then when it comes to saying it to people's faces or making interesting conversation, it's becoming more difficult. And I see this is going to make me sound really old, but the kids of today, I fear I fear for them because I think it's only getting worse. It's just so easy to hide behind screens and um, yeah, people. I think you're spot on. It's that general day to day interactions that we're missing out on. It's just deliveries, and I think we're also so busy. It's also a circumstance of just the times. We're also busy, and there's very little time to stop and give people the time of day. It's very much okay. Thanks. Bye. On to the next. Whereas life, I think, was at a slower pace back in the day, and there was more time to get to know people and spend time having a coffee and or going to the grocery store and spending half an hour chatting to the owner. It's life's just not really like that anymore.
It's it really isn't. It's kind of funny. I've noticed this in recent years is every time someone comes up to me or someone else that I know, immediately, it doesn't even matter what they look like, what they are doing. If they just a random person on the street comes up to me, I go, no thanks, no thanks. Like I'm already rejecting, thinking that they're maybe going to ask for money or they're gonna ask for something because I've been so socially
Yeah.
like it's like almost like it, it kind of also reminds me of when a cashier says, even if you're having the worst day, and they're like, "Oh, how are you?" And you're like, "Good." It's like we're like programmed almost to just have like general responses towards things instead of having a general conversation. Sometimes I throw it up, throw it out a little bit, like saying like, no, when they ask me how my day's going, I'm like horrible, and it kind of like it breaks their brain for a second. They're like, wait a second, I'm not programmed to respond to this. So it's
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting how the kids of this generation are going to grow up, and I'm also curious how AI will play a part now into this because people can have now conversations with AI and maybe it could help them, but also these are again artificial conversations. So it might be biased towards what they want to hear. So when someone gives them an actual opinion in real life, they might be completely on the other end of it where they don't like they're like, oh, I don't like this person. My AI talks to me nicely. So this also throws an interesting futuristic dynamic to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, we speak of people hiding behind screens and talking digitally. I mean, with AI, even that's in jeopardy. If AI can automate responses for you to emails or messages, even that's even something like that could be lost. So we're saying that it's gone backwards where people only talk over a phone, but it's getting to the point where you don't even type out the message yourself. So you're relying on someone else to do, you know, the the talking for you.
Yeah, it's gonna be scary to see how people interact. And I mean, maybe they won't maybe people just won't interact in the future. Everything's gonna be isolated. Everyone's gonna be at home on their VRs, 350 pounds, just sucking through their fuel drinks to and then living in a different world. I mean, like a Wally universe. But yeah, I mean. So I don't know. I mean, a part of me sometimes thinks that isolation is good. It's good time for to think, to relax, to kind of gather your thoughts. Because it could like self what is it called? I don't know, self-energize your mindset, self rejuvenate your mind, to think for a second. I like to sit and think a lot. And I think that's good for isolation, but I think over isolation is bad because then you can start to think too much and you don't get to interact with humans. You lose that touch, and I think that touch is important.
Yeah. And I think there's such a thing as, I don't know what to call it, like re-entry anxiety. So if you isolate for too long to try and enter back into social situations, um, I think there can be a lot of anxiety around that. And I mean, what you're talking about now, the perfect example is during COVID. We were all isolated for such an extended period of time. And while personally it had some benefits, as strange as it is to say that there were benefits to COVID, um, I personally found it so good to slow down and, I don't know, just take a step back from all the busyness and the chaos and the interactions, and actually, as you say, have time to sit and think and rejuvenate the mind and just be forced to not have any social engagements. But then once things picked up again, it was almost difficult to re-enter social situations because I was so used to, taking it slow and having nothing planned on the weekends and being forced to do things like take walks and build puzzles and yeah, just keep myself busy. Um, I don't know if you had the same experience during COVID. I know obviously COVID was more about illness and there were some devastating things. So maybe that sort of aspect of it to some people is just, yeah, like they can't even think of COVID in that way. But yeah, the isolation was interesting.
Yeah, it really was. I think you know, I look back and I think Now, this is a very weird mindset. I don't think 99% of people have my mindset here, but I think of people as like robots almost in a weird way, but I think they get stuck in habits of um, the same thing. Oh, wake up, do this. It's like a process every day, and they forget who they really are as a person because they get stuck in this process, and this process just makes them go day to day, and just they know their schedule. And COVID completely broke that, and it made people wake up and go, wait a second, hold up, wait, I'm a human being. I can do this. And so a lot of people quit their jobs. I've seen numerous businesses start. They're like, oh, I was working a regular, corporate job, and all of a sudden I just realized, I go, wait, what am I doing? I just want to chase my dreams now. I just want to chase and they started their own businesses, and they really broke through that. And so yeah, I think that isolation really made people think it broke people, and then that isolation helped. Um, but then obviously restimulate, like as you say, restimulation to that uh, into normality, or going back into is strange. I mean, for instance, I will be in my condo 5 days of the week. I will leave. The farthest I will go is to get my mail, or not my mail, food from the front counter, and I'll go back up to my room, and then I'll just continue doing my thing. And then when the weekend comes, I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna wander past my outside and actually touch the street this time. And when I do, it feels so strange. It feels like, oh my gosh, like it feels like a whole new world. I'm like, wait, I'm in Asia? Like this is crazy. It's such a strange feeling. So yeah, there is pros and cons to it for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, given that you live alone, as you say, 5 days a week, you are holed up in your place, and obviously that works for you. Do you find that you spend a lot of time connecting with friends digitally, like friends in the US or wherever? Do you spend a lot of your energy connecting that way, or is that also something you limit?
I limit that. I used to. When I talk to them, it feels, if I don't talk to them for months or even a year, and I talk to them again, it feels like we didn't skip a day. But um, when I when I'm I just don't I it's the same thing with meeting up friends now for me, as it just feels like I don't want to spend time texting. I feel like it takes a long time. I get bored of texting. Even my own girlfriend, I
Yeah.
sometimes I'm texting. Oh man, I tell her, I'm like, hey, I don't like texting that much. It's probably not the best thing to say, but it's like I just sometimes don't like texting, and I just feel like I want to be. It takes too much time to text. And not that I'm like the most productive man in the world, but I I just feel like it's like small talk in a way. I don't know. I don't want to say that in a
Yeah.
bad way where she'll chase me. But um,
No,
yeah,
I
just
totally get you though. And it's delayed responses as well. So I feel like there's just so much pressure with texting. I'm one of those people that really struggles to reply quickly, unless it's work related.
yeah.
I struggle to reply quickly. Just throwing that in there. Um,
Now I'm gonna keep a timer. I'm gonna time it. I'm gonna go, okay, all right, let's see how fast. That,
yeah, I find I have so much anxiety around texting, around WhatsApp in general. Yeah, I really struggle. I feel like with friends, I start most of my messages with "so sorry for the delayed reply," and I just feel so much pressure when it comes to texting. Like, yeah, so I kind of get you in that sense.
it's the same way when someone calls me. I go, oh, I'm like, oh no, like someone died. Like who would be who's calling me? And then I'm
in
like,
this day and age.
yeah, I know. A phone call is like, it's either a scammer or it's my friend that's telling me something. And if my mom is calling me, then someone definitely has died. So,
Oh no.
yeah, yeah. But my mom calls me and then she tells me something random, and luckily nobody. But yeah, it's really strange to get calls nowadays. I don't even like calling people. I don't even like calling my bank sometimes. I'm like, oh. I'm like, can I just text them? But then you gotta, that's just a whole nother problem in itself. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So,
I'm the same. If I need to book an appointment, I'll look at various different stores or what do you call them? Practices, for example, and I will find the one where you can book online, and I will go with that one instead of phoning.
so we are actually becoming socially isolated human beings. This is our future. We're actually proving our future right here is we don't like interact. Interaction is hard. Or maybe we're just getting older, but we don't like interaction. It, I I always I always thought that when I was younger, it was always the older people that talked to everyone. They were always, how you doing, young sonny? And then they like pull your cheek, and now I'm like, I'm that older guy. Well, maybe not that old, but well, kind of. But I just don't want to talk to people now. I'm just like, oh, leave me alone. I just want to just, it's kind of weird. So
Yeah.
but
And
maybe
I've
I'm
said this before. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying,
Sorry,
maybe I'm
Tony.
like just a grown-up iPad kid, so I don't know.
I've touched on this before in previous podcasts that I think it's also a circumstance of the fact that we're always talking to people. Like we're always switched on. We always have WhatsApp beeping in our ear,
Hmm.
whether it's work or friends or family. Like we're always talking to people. So I mean, I often say I'm peopled out. Like I need a break from people, and it's not anything against the people that I hang out with. It's just that like sometimes you need a break, and I think we're all becoming more and more like that, and having a little bit of anxiety around just always being having interaction.
Yeah, it is partially my fault in the WhatsApp group. I get lonely sometimes, so I feel like just texting random stuff, and so that is my fault. But I'll tone it down a little bit. But yeah, I get what you mean. I've slowly I'm I kind of want to ditch. I like almost want to ditch my phone, but I need it for so many things. It's like a necessity almost now. So I
Yeah, don't you hate that?
yeah, I know it's like something you want to get rid of, but it's like if I
Yeah.
have, and then you can't. It's like an addiction. You're like, oh
Like,
man.
yeah, but everything would fall apart. Everything, like your life is your phone. Like,
Oh,
especially being a parent, there's just no way. There's days where I just want to switch it off and just say I'm out for a week, and it's just not possible.
isn't that crazy though? How 20 years ago we were looking on paper maps, and we were just
Yeah.
we had buttons on our phone, and it was a Nokia with like a green screen, and that was the maximum that we had, and we were okay with it. It was like a norm, and we get around, we just enjoy life. But now we're like, we need our phones, otherwise we die. Like, and you take a phone away from someone, and they feel like, oh my God, they're like, where's my,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. And I'm part of the problem too. I got iPads, phones, computers, and I'm like, I'm an addict. I feel like I need to go to rehab for technology.
Yeah, no, it's like an extra limb. I mean, yeah, you sort of feel if it's not in your pocket or in your bag, you can feel the weight has gone. It's like that weight is embedded in your brain now, and if you're not holding it or it's not taking up space in your pocket or in a bag, you can actually feel that it's missing.
And that's a scary thought that we're so
Yeah.
reliant on it that
Yeah.
it makes me think that if it were just to turn off everything, the world would do. Oh, it's it's chaos, mad chaos.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so I'm curious, like kind of a closing conversation piece here. Um, in your opinion, how do you think we can for people that are heavily isolated like myself, maybe sometimes into depression, how do you think that you can like make a healthy connection back to others, but not too much, not too little, but just a healthy connection back to others?
I guess off the top of my head, starting just with your interactions with people you don't know. So, as you say, the delivery man, instead of just a hey, thanks, how's your day been? Have you been busy today? Um, at the grocery store, having a bit more of a conversation. And I guess the way I see it is people want that. So I don't think people are used to being asked questions about their lives anymore, especially people who are running your daily activities like the checkout person or the delivery guy. So yeah, I guess just some genuine questions, genuine care that's different to, hey, how you doing, man? Maybe that's a good way to start, and just feeling like you can be a little bit more vulnerable and open up about your day in a way that's not generic. Um, I don't know. I always find um, that fuels me a little bit. So in South Africa, I doubt it's the same there, but we have a lot of housing estates with security guards. So when you go to someone's house and they live in a security state, which not everybody does, but there are a lot of them, there's always a security guy who scans your license, checks where you're going, asks you a couple of questions. And I always find if I'm super friendly and engaging and I get that back in response, it just turns my whole day around. And it sounds so silly, but I just I get satisfaction and joy out of getting a joyful response from someone. So I don't know, maybe I've gone off on a tangent, Evan, but yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I think that was the most well said thing, though. I could because it brings up such a valuable point. Is such having such a small conversation could lead to such a big thing, big change in your life. Like it's like a butterfly effect. Um, you know, just saying hello and just having a small conversation with someone could lead to an opportunity, a new friendship. Just very something so subtle could change such a big thing in your life that you don't even realize. And that's happened to me multiple times where I've talked to someone and I've I mean, that's how I met my girlfriend. Is I just went up and asked for where I can eat, and her and her friend asked if I wanted to come hang out with, like, come grab a drink with them, and here I am 3 years later. So it's crazy how just a small interaction can actually makes, and it doesn't need to be like you said, it doesn't need to be something long and do it all the time, but something that you do occasionally. Um, could lead to something big, and it could lead to a positive uh, thing in your life. And while you could still be isolated in your own world if you're an introvert, and you could still have your time to yourself, but you could open up so many opportunities externally if you just be a little bit of extrovert and talk to people and have that conversation and um, build that. What am I trying to say? It's your almost like speaking and talking and conversation ness and human interaction. And I think that's very important to have.
Yeah, I think it takes a little bit of vulnerability, but I sometimes feel like the best conversations stem from when you're being vulnerable, because that's actually when you get deep and you cut out the surface level conversation. So, yeah, just asking someone with genuine interest and curiosity how they're doing, or, how their kid is, or, yeah, how their day's been, um, as you say, it can change their day and it can change yours too.
That's a perfect way to end it. So the risk of social isolation, it is. a real effect. But as Claire said, just get out of your comfort zone and be a little vulnerable. Ask a genuine question to someone, and it could change your life. And so you could have the best of both worlds, but you could still have that human interaction, which is very important to have. And it's relaxing. And who knows? You can live a good life. So to sum it up, everyone, thank you for listening. This is a short one today, and next week we will be back, maybe touching grass. We may be doing red light therapy. We may give you actual reports and stuff that we did. Uh, Sean was not in today, but we'll report back with him next week and let you know, or maybe he'll let you know what he found out. But thank you again for everyone watching, and thank you, Claire.
Thanks, Evan.